Hello and welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Adengor. Is compassion what is needed to fix the nation? That is what one anthropologist, Dr. John Oryem, argues. South Sudan will be a better place if we care for one another. I have the pleasure to welcome him to the show. Welcome to Fixing South Sudan.
Thank you, Brother Madingor,
How
for
are you
welcoming
today?
me to your show.
Very good. Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
So you have this intriguing idea, simple idea for fixing South Sudan. It is called compassion.
Yes.
What is compassion?
I talk of compassion, and you said it is being a simple idea. Great things begin small and simple. And that's why I'm calling all South Sudanese to be compassionate, and to love each other with intense caring for one another. And I'm very pleased to share the idea with you, Madingor, and the people of South Sudan and the world at large.
Describe compassion in other words.
Compassion is a very simple idea. It is a response to human suffering. But that response must be motivated first by oneself. You have to have an empathy, then you respond to human suffering. And the suffering can be of anybody. Even yourself, you could be suffering. But if you respond to it positively, you can transform it into something that can benefit not only yourself, but the rest. But if you transfer this attention that you give to other people, especially your neighbors, immediate neighbors, and beyond, you will find that we shall have a very peaceful atmosphere and a very peaceful society, a very peaceful country like ours, the Republic of South Sudan. So caring is important to each and every soul.
And let us know the importance of compassion and what difference it can make. You are saying that it will create a peaceful South Sudan. How?
First, you have to internalize that feeling in you that in this world, I share it with others. We share our daily lives together. Nobody lives in a family alone like ours in South Sudan. We have extended family members. Our immediate siblings are in the house with us. But you have to begin loving them, then you move to the neighbors, and you move to the outer society, which is important. Then if I care for my siblings in a family, that will give me an opportunity to know their feelings, to know their suffering, and at the same time also to know their goals in life. Because we, as South Sudanese, we must be all oriented towards our common goal, and that is love of each other and love of the society and the country as a whole.
And in practical terms, how is this manifested? Is it about greeting one another? Is it about doing some random acts of kindness to others?
Exactly. We can begin it simply by, if in the morning, before you go out to do your business, you go out to your place of work or to your farms, first set out a goal for yourself. What should I do today? I have 24 hours in front of me, but that 24 hours should be spent with creativity, and it must be filled with joy and love towards each other. So you wake up in the morning, you greet everybody with whom you share the same compound, you wish them a fruitful day, then you move out to the neighbors. Greet them as well, because the whole thing is sharing. If you move to the neighbors, greet them. You go to the bus station, you jump on a bus, greet your immediate, co-traveler. And begin a conversation that should gear towards actually knowing each other, and a conversation that should actually be fruitful. And as you descend your light to your station, wish him or her a good day as you depart. And that what should be done in our lives as South Sudanese. Also, at the same time, if you come back from work, you should also know what others have gone through in life. Probably good things that they may share with you, good jokes, good experiences that they might have got from their places of work. And with it in the evening, you share the same feelings, the same joy that you experience as well.
For
So
you,
at the end of the day, you realize that my individual suffering could be less than the suffering of others who are with me. So life will be appreciated when we share all our feelings, our expectations, when we share together.
for you to ascribe this idea for South Sudan, it means that you have examined this society, and probably you are not contented with South Sudan as it is, or if you are, you believe that South Sudan will be better with compassion. So when you talk about compassion, does it mean that we are not being compassionate to one another?
I'm saying we are not compassionate enough to each other. Why? Because we have experienced the history of our liberation. During our liberation years, probably we were having more suffering than today, but we were more united in our achieving our common goal. And in that unity, we were sharing the little that we could get, the least thing that we could get, we were sharing it. But today, because of these conflicts and tensions that we have among ourselves, then we should ask ourselves, in the past we were caring for each other, but now what has gone wrong with us? So we have to go back to that element of caring for one another, loving each other, and be compassionate enough to do good to others. And this can begin by a simple thing. Let us listen to each other.
Passion does not happen in a vacuum. It's part of the overall value system. So are you saying that in the bush, during the long war of independence, we were caring for one another, and as soon as we obtained our independence, we stopped caring for one another? So just explain exactly what you are arguing. Are you saying that the long wars have affected us as a society, that our moral compass is no longer going straight? What are those factors?
I think that the factors that might have really played some negative roles in solidifying our compassion and love for this country could be we no longer pay attention to what could really build us together. If I have something to my family, then should only limit myself and my family together. It should not go beyond my family. I think this is where we have to start thinking more on actually going beyond and say, no, whatever little that we have, we share it. Yes, we have our own structures that we have today in South Sudan. People come together and they follow up actually their activities in life. But we have to pay attention, because it doesn't mean that if I'm not paying attention actually to other people who are not from my family, then I'm also not paying attention to the society. No, I should pay attention to my families, to the neighbors, and to the wider society. This is what is really affecting us. And let us redirect our efforts in actually going back to where we came from. There were very few people who actually committed themselves to achieve what we have today. And we should support the efforts of those people who have given us this great country. And with it, the 12 million South Sudanese should now refocus on actually following up a serious direction of building up this country, which we can only do through compassion and caring for one another. If all of us today care for each other, if all of us pay attention of being compassionate, then we shall have no conflicts, we shall have no quarrels, we shall not have fighting over small things, being materials or positions that we have in a country.
Okay, hold on to that thought. We will take a break from here, and when we come back, we will explore it in depth.
Good. Thank you.
Welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Madingor. Do you have a vision for South Sudan? Do you have what it takes to build a just and cohesive South Sudanese society? What is your idea for fixing the nation? Join me for one-on-one interview. Let's debate about who we are and who we shall become. Welcome back to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Madengor. With us today is Dr. John Oryem, an anthropologist who believes that compassion can heal South Sudan. We started talking about how there has been some level of breakdown of values because of the war, because of the displacements, and you did not say it, but it seems to me that you were implying that as a society, we have become a bit more individualistic. We are looking inward as opposed to outward. Tell us, there's a lot you're not saying.
I'm saying we have to reevaluate ourselves. We have to meditate and think positively daily in our lives, because there are a lot of issues that we need to focus on. Nation building doesn't mean only the physical infrastructure that we have, but also we have to build ourselves. We have to build our social society. We have to build our institutions, and we have to build ourselves. When you begin with an individual, it's a most positive thing. And that's why we are saying compassion. Being compassionate is important in our lives. You love not only yourself, but you love somebody next to you. And this is important. So if we have love towards each other and we care towards each other, then we have less tension and less focusing towards one's interests. So this issue of egoism will go away from us, because life is sharing. Life is caring for one another. And that is what we should do as South Sudanese. There is an opportunity for us to mend the broken fences that we created through this violence, through tension, through this anger that we express out towards others.
What are the deeper problems that are causing the society to be less compassionate?
It's just this suspicion that we have towards each other. If we have something that should fit between me and you, Madengor, we should sit and see what is this thing that we have in front of us here. So if we share it, if we share that thing, let us call it food, between me and you, if we share it, all of us will go satisfied. But if I take it alone, and that may not be easy with you, or if I give you something little that you have seen with your eyes, then it may not be easy with you. But if we share it, then we lessen the tension and the suspicion that you may have towards me if I take it.
So the suspicion emanates from the fact that as a society, we are not being equitable in sharing the resources of the nation. Let's say we are talking about the national cake. Is the suspicion from the fact that there is a perception that some people, they go ahead in this society of ours, they move ahead because of the ethnicity, not because of meritocracy. Why suspicion? Is the violence, is the anger, but there are probably deep-rooted issues that fuel this suspicion that you have been talking about.
You know, equitable distribution doesn't mean that we divide something into equal halves. No, you take according to what is good, not only for you, but also for other people. Then equally we share that thing. But what we are saying is this: as a society, all of us have a fair share of resources in South Sudan. When the first government of Southern Sudan was formed in 2005, everybody participated in that government. Every tribe participated in that government. There were ministries that were there, so everybody participated. So equally, all of us benefited as South Sudanese from all the services and whatever that we have in the society. But what we are saying today, if we think more of this country, then we should even focus on creating opportunities for not only for ourselves, but also for the generation that will come after us. So compassion actually means you don't only work for yourself, but also you work for that generations that will come. So this is the love that we want for this country, that the youth and others who have strength must actually double their efforts in creating an opportunity and building up a very strong society here. But also that those who will come after us, they will also know that we as a society, we existed and we left something behind for them. And they will inherit it. Let us say, for example, if there are other generations that will come, if they do not find out that we were not loving each other as a nation, then what are they inheriting? They're inheriting anger.
Is loving one another, caring for one another, being compassionate for one another enough in itself, or is more needed?
It is enough because it involves self-evaluation, it involves motivation, because I have to be motivated as John to respond to your needs as Madengor. Ethnically, we come from different tribes, but I should not see you as somebody from another tribe, but somebody actually who is a human being, because humanity is one and we share it. So sharing humanity means we have to go beyond our ethnicity. We have to go beyond our needs. We have to go beyond even our current setup, because we have to think more on the totality and the well-being of everybody in the society.
Who are you appealing to? Are you appealing to individuals? Are you appealing to institutions?
I'm appealing.
How do you practically enforce this value system?
I'm appealing to each and every member of this society. I'm appealing to all South Sudanese to be compassionate to one another, because this is our liberation ideals, to have a very strong society, to have a very strong country in the heart of Africa. And this is what we have been known for. The South Sudanese are people who care for each other. And other people can testify. Non-South Sudanese can testify that South Sudanese actually people who love not only themselves, but they love others. They love their neighbors. They love strangers. Even in our society, our four grandfathers used to travel, used to go far away. But there, if you hear the legends of our forefathers, they are all full of compassion, full of love and caring for one another. Even in the past, there were no orphans who were isolated in our society. No. A child who lost a father or a mother is transferred immediately to an immediate family. And thereafter, the family that the child gets himself or herself into will begin to call that head of the family a father and the mother in the family. And this is what we want.
Are you
in South
talking
Sudan.
about the South Sudan that was, or the South Sudan that is?
We are a combination of our past, of our present, and of our future. So this is what we want.
We are a nation of 64 tribes, and also we live in a metropolitan area where we have other value systems that are coming, other influences. Our people have traveled to many places. They have lived in many civilizations. You bring all this to South Sudan, and are we really supposed to end up with that, that value system?
Madingor, we acknowledge that during the liberation struggle, our people found themselves in diaspora, to neighboring countries, and exile, and others remain behind. It is true, we are coming from a diverse society and different experiences that we had in life. But this is a moment now we have to build our society that is unique. Anything that we have come with positively, we hold onto it. Negatively, we reject. We collect our past, the good values that we had in the past, and we combine with what we went through in life, especially this generation, and we build our society. And that society should be a unique one. So whatever influences that we brought from outside will never eradicate our values of compassionate, of caring to each other, of loving each other. Nothing. We shall instead value ourselves more and build on what we have inherited from our forefathers.
You talk of we, and we are a nation of 64 plus. Are we one? Do we believe in one thing? This is an aspiration?
We have a possibility. We have a possibility of coexisting. After all, we are coexisting as tribes. But we want to strengthen that relationship that brings all South Sudanese together. Because there is no any single tribe today in South Sudan that is isolated from the rest. As you said, we live in a metropolitan towns. Within these metropolitan towns, every tribe is hosted. And in it, every tribe is not having a commune that is isolated. It said, okay, that is a commune that belongs to tribe A or tribe B. But people share whatever is there. Because our coming together should not lessen even our traditional and cultural values of caring for one another. Within these big towns that we live in, instead it should actually foster our relationship. We should learn the beauties of our cultures, the beauties of our religious ethics that brings us together as South Sudanese.
We like to do in this show a reality check for any given idea. And South Sudan today is a country that is going through insurgencies, it's a country where millions have been displaced, it's a country where millions are on the verge of hunger, it's a country where people feel aggrieved for one reason or another. There is a perception that this is not a just country, that the country does not work for everyone. So it is nice to talk about compassion, but realistically, when you look at how we feel about one another, the suspicions about one another, we are talking about a country where we are experiencing for the first time in our history ethnic targeted killings. This must be worrisome, and in the context of your idea, what do we do from here?
Madingor, we are coming from
Because we like to love one another, but there are factors that impede that.
Madingor, we are coming from a long distance. And our long distance is marked with suffering and the pain of our people. We achieve independence. Is there something more important than our own independence? We are hosting our own flag today as a unique people, as a people who have worked together, people who have come together. Madingor, there is an end always to any suffering of a human being. If you experience hunger today, tomorrow, somebody may give you a piece of bread, you will eat it, and that grave will go away. Our pain, whatever situation that we live into, will end. So our pain, our sufferings, whatever that we think that is hindering us today, it will come to an end. But one thing is needed. We have to think positively. We have to think not only as only an individual, that actually should change the situation.
We have to be compassionate.
We have to be compassionate towards one another. That's why if you experience my pain, I experience your pain. Then there will be a moment, then we sit together and we look at our pain as something, that is not great in our life.
Is your idea a good idea for South Sudan?
It is a very good idea, and I'm calling every South Sudanese from today onwards, please go outside. Be compassionate, not only to yourself, but to your family, to your neighbor, to your wider society, even at the place of work.
Show me compassion.
Madingor, how are you?
Thank you very much. I'm very good.
Are you all right?
Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.